RPG for You and Me presents a special Patreon mini-series. Welcome to Silica Valley.
It's been a while since I've seen something like this. I think the last one came through was one of them fanatics. You run into any of them?
Fanatics?
There was a dust storm. We had a dust up with them. It's, they sandbagged. Scratches just under his nostrils.
Well, you're sandbagging zealots out there in the waste. Making friends all over, huh?
It's not easy being such a nice guy.
Oh, you got that right. That's why you don't be a nice guy. You look out for yourself.
Yeah, I lost them. They got to dig themselves out of a hole for a little bit, and I think we'll be fine. I'm not too worried. I got this map too. I got this map right here.
Well, life is digging yourself out of a hole, so that's all well and good. What'd you bring for me,
Yeah, there's this thing I found, and it slides, and I think it's for slide. I don't know. And I go and grab the snowboard and bring it back.
Sia brings her skateboard.
So you got a skateboard with wheels on it?
Yeah.
He looks between them and says,
Well, one of these would be more useful than the other on sand, but it looks like a piece of wood or something.
It doesn't feel like wood. You see around the edge, it's like metal here along this side, like the nose, right? Yeah, and then there's these, and the these where my feet won't fit.
the snowboard has like the little spots where you would click into place your boots, you know? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, except
Gotcha.
they're shaped for human feet, and I not my feet.
He says, "Oh no, I think this is more of a torture device. You know, you get somebody and you put them in there and they can't move. It's very old-fashioned."
And hey, this seemed fun, and I go back and I grab out the hula statue.
I forgot about that.
I wanted you to have this.
Oh, very nice. A limited edition.
You're giving that to him, you said?
Yes, it's a present.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Man, he is very knowledgeable about these things that you're hitting. Oh my god. He got a 21 to identify the hula. So maybe he likes collecting bobbleheads or like hula thingies. Because
Listen, Seth, I have a very specific fetish for hula statues. Bring me more.
his eyes widen greedily. Maybe that is his thing. I mean, if he repairs vehicles and, collects scrap, then there's got to be a bunch of them out there that have
just bobbleheads.
weird
That's fun.
ornamental thingies on, maybe just dashboard toys.
Yeah, that's it.
So he likes dashboard toys. So you give that to him.
Oh, I thought of your old pal Vigo.
Yeah, it looks fun.
He pokes it in the hip and watches it bobble and just goes,
All right, kid. All right. Don't get too excited.
he hobbles over,
Okay.
starts taking steps, and he has a very wide back and forth way of walking, just with, the not very parallel steps. So he makes slow going, but heads to a desk in the back and puts it up on a shelf where you can see that there's a bunch of other things like hood ornaments and things in various states of disrepair, shininess. Maybe he buffs some of them.
This is a wonderful collection.
Oh, you like it? Yeah. So you won't see another one quite like it.
I've never seen one before anyway.
So you said you ran into some of those zealots out there,
Yeah. We lost him.
Oh, well, did they try to convince you to go with them?
Go with them?
No, they didn't. They just didn't want me to have that really nice hula statue that I felt just needed to be on your shelf.
Oh, That's surprising. I didn't think they'd care about something like this.
And he shrugs. While you guys are talking, he always tries to busy himself with something. He's always trying to multitask. It doesn't mean he does it very well.
Right.
But he's not the type to just sit and talk, it seems.
You get anything in on that blinky box about work for me?
Well, I got something brewing right now. I don't think it's quite ready, but there's always something to be done, I'm sure.
How long have you been gone? Like, how often do you stop back in the hub? Or how much time do you spend with the tribe versus in the hub or moving around?
Oh, I think I basically spend most of my time at the hub, and any time I spend with the tribe is when it's necessary. When I should go, or when someone comes to look beckoning for me or anything like that. But I'm more preoccupied with the modern world in front of me than the more traditional atmosphere of the tribe. But I think I've been here this morning when I left with Sia.
Right, gotcha. So he knew that you were going out to do something, but maybe not the specifics of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nothing really new since this morning, but I've got my ear to the ground, and I've got a few ideas myself. As soon as I have a better picture, you're the first one I'll tell, boy.
Okay, cool. Did you have any of those maps? I kind of wanted to peruse over and compare them to this one I got here that I found with that prism polish.
You and your maps.
There's so much in them.
He goes over to maybe he just has a drawer of papers, just wrenches it open, starts pulling handfuls of stuff out, and says,
"Well, you want to look through? Be my guest."
Thanks, man. Thanks.
His eyes are already back on the hula.
Hey, how are my credits doing, man?
Your credits?
Yeah, from the work that I do.
No, you call that work?
Well, this was a job, but it wasn't like a paying job. But I was just wondering, I just wanted to take my associate from Pantheon over to get some AC for her because she is she's looking a bit hot.
She makes a very weary finger gun and
If he handles money and credits for you, then yeah, I think if you leave money with him, he would certainly dole it out to you as you request, at least, in reasonable amounts. But you guys have at least some working relationship where you help him with certain things around here from time to time, and then he is your contact through Pantheon, essentially, to give you that work when it's available. So yeah. He can I think for what we're doing here, we're probably just going to use the wealth system as an optional rule from Savage Worlds. I like dealing with that in more abstract. So did we talk about how that functions? Or are you familiar with how it functions?
Oh, yeah. I have a dice, and then that covers how much I have. And every time I make a big purchase, it could make the dice go down one dice size. And yeah.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah. So I'm just like trying to establish, also like demonstrate in front of Sia that like this guy manages a little bit more than I'm not as savvy to the whole Pantheon thing as most agents would be.
So maybe he looks to Sia and says,
"Oh, so this is the Pantheon agent, hmm?
Oh, yes, sir.
What brings you the whole way out here?"
I was just, looking for some stuff. She squints at him a little bit. Trying to look very, mysterious about it.
He doesn't care. He's
okay.
he shrugs and lets
she
it go.
visibly deflates a little bit.
Yeah, this guy does not care at
My
all.
air of mystery. Yeah, mystery. Yeah, have fun with that.
I think she pulls out her tablet from her backpack and is like, "How are you getting a signal out here? Mine's been very squiffy since going through that big sand barrier."
Oh, this technology, big and squiffy.
She looks a bit more put out at that dismissal.
He jerks a thumb behind him. There's a CB radio, probably very similar to the one that Set has in his vehicle for picking up, longer communications, especially in messier situations like this.
Didn't know we
like
had
a ham
radio
radio setup.
reader.
Yeah, like a ham radio. I think that's more. I'm not versed in radio stylings personally.
Ham.
Wow. He'll look to Sia and say,
Well, I hope you find something so we can all get paid.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, so you didn't find anything?
No, we found some things. I have some very nice sunglasses now.
he
She puts them on, cool girl style.
I was like, oh, look, check some of this out. And I pull out one of the tapes and stick it in my tape player, press play, hold it up. And I imagine there might be like an external speaker that I can have when I don't have the headphones plugged into it. It starts playing it for him. Yeah, I got a bunch of these.
What kind of music is it?
Oh, I don't know. Let's roll a dice.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've come to love more and more just randomly generated stuff. You know, just in the moment, see what happens and see what comes out of it. That's always a lot of fun.
Classical music.
Let's see, what would his reaction to classical music be?
Oh, it sounds very boring, but I'm glad you're entertained by it.
Different. We don't sing like this back at the tribe.
Well, maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah, maybe.
Sia actually really likes classical music. She doesn't know how much she likes this guy.
If I notice Sia, like, eyes perk up to it a little bit, I was like, you want this one?
Oh, I don't have anything that can play it.
Let's let it play. Let's walk around. Let's go get something to eat.
These youths with their boombox.
Bob in the head. Oh man, this is different.
He'll go and get some credits and pay them out to you. I don't think he makes a habit of like stiffing you or overtly taking advantage of you. Set has only a fundamental knowledge of, you know, currency and how all those things work based on what we've discussed. I will tell you as a player that he doesn't intentionally rip you off. Like, this is not a financially abusive relationship, but maybe he takes some liberties at times.
Skims a little off the top.
Yeah, you know,
for,
as,
finder's
10%.
fee.
As yeah, maybe 10, maybe a little bit more. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Takes his cut.
He'll get your credits for you. Your wealth die is functionally a D6 right now, just as the standard, because you don't have edges that hurt or help it. If you have stuff that you would want to sell to others, we can certainly talk about rewards or bumping that up even temporarily. If you go to buy stuff from the AleraCorp vending machines, that would be something you could spend it on. But for trivial stuff like paying for a little bit of air conditioning, that I wouldn't, dock anything like that from your actual funds. Unless that's how rare it is, who knows?
Alera coins.
Alera bucks.
Oh, yeah, they have their own currency that, like, half of their stores don't even accept.
The worst. It's fun money.
Fun buck.
He'll get you that as you guys are making your way out. He says,
There's a lot of junk around here that needs scrubbing.
Okay, okay, I'll get to that right after we get a bite to eat. Okay, man?
he makes a non-committal noise and then goes back to what he was doing, turns around and leaves you to it. You see him look at the hula one more time and just goes, as he disappears under the truck.
Is he your boss? I thought you were a Pantheon agent.
Yeah, I've only been doing this for a little bit. He kind of showed me how to do it. He set up my profile for me.
That's good of him.
Yeah. He's not from here, I don't think.
No?
I don't ask too many questions.
I don't think he would answer them. Just from his whole deal.
He answered a couple, especially when I first showed up. I didn't even know how to, like, these touch screens, like the one you got. They're kind of weird, man.
They're rotting out here anyway.
Yeah. Well, there's some hardwired stuff once in a while that kind of works. It's the silt. Builds up and everything.
Well, the barrier wall probably doesn't help at all with that.
Yeah, I've never been on the other side of that.
So could you remind us what the barrier wall is?
The barrier wall is what Sia had to come through to get to here. It's just a giant sandstorm border that has quarry lightning going on inside it. Some of the sand particles are like crushed up quarry pebbles or crystals. So it's very conductive and very dangerous. So maybe the shuttle that ferried her here is a little better protected.
Gotcha.
Maybe
it's not
subterranean.
Wise. Maybe it is subterranean.
That's a
Maybe
good
it's
idea.
a tunnel.
Oh, very nice. I didn't realize that you had come through that to get here.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was sort of like on the far side, blocking wherever was beyond that.
I just assumed it was around most of the desert.
Both. I like
Why
that even
not?
better, yes.
It's a it's a video game area. You got an area transition.
Absolutely. That's great.
Head up to the honeycomb.
Okay.
Get my friend some air conditioning.
Absolutely. You get to the honeycomb. There's probably a couple other patrons just scattered around here. I figure there are probably some familiar faces that you would have seen at least once or twice here. I don't know how friendly you are with people in general or how well known you want to be here.
I think kind of a naive, like not kind of an outsider. People know I came in from a tribe, and I don't know how many of those people would be from the tribe. We haven't really discussed how dispersed the tribe is in the area.
Well, let's talk about your tribal structure for a minute here then. We haven't gotten heavily into that so far. The impression that I got is that there is like a core tribe of members who are all in, and that is their life, and that's their community, and that's what they live and breathe and do. And then there's sort of a more peripheral layer to the tribe of associates or affiliates who are kind of members and do contribute, but don't like live there and work there day by day or just kind of come and go as they please. And that was more
it might be like some of the family members and like how farms are set up, like where a lot of times people leave the farm and establish their own life, and some people stay behind and mind the farm.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. So where does Set fit within that structure?
Basically, he was intending to stay at the farm and then was kind of set up for that, but then found the hub when he was out doing stuff and liked that better. He found something else, and he just was drawn to it in a way that wasn't expected. Somewhat also didn't jive with what the plan was. Maybe there was some training or teaching or expectations that were going to fall on his shoulders, maybe like the eldest son of a family that had a particular role, and then he drifted away from that, and it's caused a little bit of a soft tension between the tribe and the families of the role he was supposed to fill that he hasn't.
Okay, I really like that. That was one of my next questions, is we didn't really talk too much about his past or his history, or if he grew up there as a member of it and drifted away, or if he has always been an outsider and just kind of on the edge. And we don't have to get into all that right now, but I think that's a really good place for future items that might come up. But that all sounds really cool. So as far as other tribe members, I think you covered that pretty well, and that, there are some people who go out to vie for themselves or just drift away entirely or eventually come back. So you might run into other people at the hub on occasion, and I think there are other tribes out in the wastes as well, but every tribe is different and has its own structure and, comings and goings. So I don't think there's like a number of people that you would expect to see here on the regular, and I don't think there's anybody from your tribe that's here this second.
Yeah, but I think definitely B would know me from coming in and out. Probably was very curious about a lot of the foods that I ran into at the hub when I first got here.
What can you tell me about B? And this is...
I used the ally personality table, and I rolled 18 for fearless. So maybe when we show up, B is working on something in a very haphazard and not safe way.
Repairing a grill.
It reminds me of a particular time. I didn't realize how unsafe it was. I had a job. I was the dishwasher and moved my way up from there, but they used to have me clean the hoods above the oven and the grill and the burners, and they would just throw baking sheets over the noodle boiler, which is basically a deep fryer, but they just put water in there and put noodles in there to boil it. And I fell in it once, burned my leg pretty badly, up to just halfway up my shin, basically. 3rd degree burns, or maybe 2nd degree. But yeah, it was bad. But it was literally just a baking sheet over a rolling boiler.
Oh my God.
So I imagine just like there's just this sheet of metal half set over maybe a deep fryer or a boiler or something. Probably deep fryer oil instead of water because of maybe water being scarce here. And maybe it's also half over a grill that's got fire going and this person's just standing on top of it, just wiping away at some of the stuff just above it. Maybe they're very short too, like half as tall as a standard person.
Maybe they're a Yara, so they can like angle themselves really well, even though they're tinier, to get into the hood and whatnot.
Bees are bees. Maybe it's an insectoid. More of a literal interpretation of that. Yeah, B might not even be the real name. It might be the nickname, the obvious on the nose nickname.
I like it. Yeah, that feels appropriate to me.
So they're very long and spindly and maybe a little shiny.
Yes.
Yeah,
But-
maybe like Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
But so what I'm hearing is she has more of a Lepaco build. She herself is tinier, but
A lithe Lepaco.
alive Lepaco.
Is one of
Yeah.
Lepaco's hindrances small?
Yes.
Nice.
And maybe like some folded transparent wings that a bee would have. So
You guys walk in. There are a couple of patrons seated around underneath the awning outside, but you guys are actually going into the structure here. B poised up above one of the griddles. You can see the oil bubbling and sputtering up against the metal plating right beneath her, and there's a surge of fire that whooshes into the air as one of the cooks continues cooking. She looks over as the bell dings when you guys enter, haphazardly wiping away at a stain with one hand and waving with the other. Imagine she's got a positive disposition overall. Very busy, always on the move. A busy bee.
I walk in. Hey, bee. Hey, is the air blower working over there?
Please say yes.
Yes, the air conditioning's always ready. You just need to pay into it, Air's not
Yeah,
free
yeah.
around here.
No, not the cold air.
Not that kind.
No. And so I take a seat at the booth, I imagine. Grab is it a card or what do credits look like?
That depends. Is it like a physical currency here in the desert as opposed to like a credit card, like chit kind of thing?
I feel like both exist, but out here it would probably make more sense if it was a hard currency rather than electronic.
Maybe
because-
she made a transfer earlier when she got here at like a different vending machine where she was like, boop, boop, and it gave her like just a handful of loose coins.
All right, yeah. So you got it's a coin currency. Let's just leave it
Hey,
at that.
could
for now.
the coins be octagonal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The B-bucks.
Just slap a few of those in there and then get the cold air blowing on Sia.
Maybe
She's like,
one of the other patrons who'd been 2 tables away
leans closer.
just tries to stealthily move their stuff to be right behind you, and then is just leaning back a little farther than they should against the back of your booth.
Sia's crammed
can
into
I
this booth.
roll common knowledge to see if I know who the deadbeat is leaning up against us?
Sure, go ahead.
Come here. D4. There we go. I blew up a 6 to an 8. Success with a raise.
Is it the shuttle driver?
Let's say it's the shuttle driver who's here on a break. His name's Rudder, like the rudder on a ship.
Yeah,
Rudder.
that's really clever.
Shuttle driver. Tell me something interesting about Rudder, Allie.
He's a very surly looking Axian. He doesn't look like he's doing too well without moisture either. Kind of salamander-y, like very round, very wide features.
Gotcha. I like it.
Maybe very bright green.
Bright green, very out of place here.
Yeah.
So yeah, impossible to miss. So you see, and he's dressed in his shuttle uniform, picks his plate up and back. It doesn't turn to face you guys, just picks it up and takes a step back and then slides into the booth a little bit closer, leans back, and you can hear a Are you gonna call him out on it, or are you letting him have this?
Sia's too happy to have AC.
No, I just kind of glance sideways, tilt the head, like a curious dog, look over at him, nod my head, bob my head a little bit, and then get back there and then maybe grab a menu and start looking at it.
Well, if this is like a standard diner, then my mind always goes to traditional diner food, but I don't know what would be scarce out here in the desert. There's definitely game and animal life that can be hunted.
Beetle eggs.
Beetle eggs. I don't know how much of the stuff they procure themselves or is shipped in, from other settlements. So I figure there's probably a little bit of a split there. Some people probably, maybe not make a living, but make extra scratch by going out and hunting and bringing back the supplies to sell for use. There's probably some more traditional dishes like pancakes or waffles that are made with wheat and flour.
Non-perishables.
Non-perishables, yeah, but I think any kind of vegetation or meat would be stuff that is endemic to this environment. Trailblazer meat, those cactus scorpions, delectable insectoid meat, beetle eggs. I like the idea behind that.
Sia doesn't know how she'd feel about eating a scorpion on account of her legs and her tail.
How do you think the presentation varies? Like, is this the type of place where they would actually bring you something that looks like normal food, or would they just like steam a scorpion and slap it on a plate and put it in front of you?
I imagine they have fry baskets. You can get a basket full of, instead of like fried shrimp or chicken tenders, it'd be like beetle eggs or
Scorp fritters.
just a bunch of little scorpions, like crickets or ants, probably more likely than crickets since it's the desert.
There can be crickets. Why not?
Or they could have like the jumbo crickets, which are, like locust, the big good ones,
Callywell.
Callywell. You'll have a basket of fries. Okay. Just brings you a pile of fried scorpions and beetle eggs.
Oh, like it's like the sampler platter. Fried, the fried basket. And they just put all the little things in there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much in the way of like animal husbandry out here. They probably have some tanks where they can, have a breeding population of lizards or scorpions or something like that. Crickets that they could then use. So maybe there's a room in the back that's just filled with tanks of crickets and stuff.
All you hear when it swings open is chip, chip, chip.
Yeah, just...
I mean, yeah, they might even farm some lizards too.
Maybe what they bring out are just like lizards on a stick, deep fried, so you can just pull them out of the basket.
There's also like desert hares and some mammalian populations out in the desert. But, it's sci fantasy world, so you could say that there's static electricity sheep that fly through the air. Like
That's true.
I do love that idea now. Deep fried trailblazer wings, but like the wings are very big, so it's just like a party platter that comes out to them.
I like that.
So it's just one wing that they kind of break apart together.
I like it. I feel like...
the higher end menu item, Oh yeah, we have to catch these.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and you would certainly know that trailblazers are difficult to catch or difficult to even kill unless you sneak up on them because they can just go so fast when they want to.
Came in on a good day.
Yeah. So yeah, it might not even be something that's regularly available. It might just be a special item that's only on the menu, when somebody comes through.
Today. They're like, we gotta get out of here.
It's a special. It's today's special.
Ooh. Today's special.
Yeah, I think I'll order the special because that sounds maybe like mouth watering. Like that's it was a treat food that we used to eat back at the tribe that it's not usually in.
Yeah, you put in your order. B will eventually make her way out with a platter and put it in front of you and just say, "Oh, well, it's as fresh as it's gonna get. Hope you enjoy."
Oh, thank you.
She'll put it down for your enjoyment. I imagine that trailblazers have a built-in spiciness to them.
Very greasy, like a duck, but very large.
I think the grease makes sense given that they produce this organic oil, so it's just in everything. Like, almost fries itself.
Yeah.
B puts one cactus flower on each plate as like a garnish.
Yeah. Or what is it? Prickly pear fruit too.
It's juicy. It's refreshing. It's like how they put celery sticks on hot wing plates. Prickly pear fruit.
There you go. I like that. That's fun.
Oh man, I imagine just having this giant like turkey drumstick leg size hot wing, basically.
Truly well-earned eats.
See, it starts tearing in because she did a lot today, a lot more than usual, So she's happy to get some food and says, "So are we gonna go on that path thing?" And she wiggles a finger at your bag where your info is.
I start laying out the map. I'm like eating some of the bird in one hand, and I'm wiping my hands off and kind of creating a mess with like napkins and the maps sprawled out and like trying to look at stuff and figure out an idea of the lay of the land and how the pre-zero map compares to the little pamphlet map that they gave me back at the kiosk that we went to.
Usually when you're dealing with paperwork and stuff like that, or maps or things, it would fall back on research. But given that this is like a map of the region, I could also see it, potentially being survival.
And I was hoping to use survival as like a navigational skill.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate here. You're not really like looking for information so much as you're trying to get these maps to correlate data, which I think does fall under survival. I'm cool with that.
Then, if you don't mind, I'd like to roll for survival.
Please do.
And I don't think my survival knife really applies right here now. Unless actually, I could use the compass in the butt.
Yeah, if you can find a way that it would work, I'm certainly open to the idea of using it.
Yeah, I like the idea of just using the compass to kind of like orient myself to the maps and to like trying to recognize the pre-zero landscape to the I imagine a lot of these maps are more like hand-drawn notes or like cryptographed, like from hearsay and estimation, more so than like aerial photography or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think given the status of everything, it would probably be at a -2 to be able to get like more sense of direction, but you can have your +1 on that, so it's a net -1.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I have a 3 and a 1, and I'm gonna spend 1 Benny.
Sure.
Just a 4.
You can definitely spot a couple of major landmarks on the old world map that correlate to, places that you've been or are aware of. So you can start using that to try to triangulate, where some of these destinations might be. You are able to get a good sense of where the next location is. You know that it heads in the vicinity of a rocky canyon-y mesa type place that, according to the old world map, it is labeled as the Cobalt Coast. And it looks like it's a very large lake. Maybe not quite Great Lakes size, but substantial.
Okay, yeah, like just one of those massive lakes where you refer to the coastline as the coast instead of the lakeside.
Mm-hmm.
Like that big lake in Red Dead 2, what you go around the whole time.
Yeah.
As I'm eating and making cleaning myself up and trying to not get fingerprints on the borrowed maps I'm using at the moment, maybe failing a little bit at that. Through the mouthful of food, I'm like, oh yeah, I think around here and right yeah. I think I know which way we can start driving. It seems to head to this lake over here that's kind of rocky out that way.
A rocky lake.
Well, I mean, the landscape's a little bit less sandy, a little bit more craggy,
I don't really, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I think this is probably a place that Set has not actually been himself. Probably been to the edge of the region, so you can see how it begins to change from desert to more rocky terrain. But maybe it's not somewhere that you've been yourself yet. Yeah,
there might be like yonderly, there's like more rock structures start coming up out of the dunes, and if you continue that way, you're going to get into some of that type of land.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
How far is it? Should we go get some supplies from the machines?
Definitely.
It's going to be too much longer.
Doug, would we need extra fuel or anything like that?
It would probably take at least a couple of hours of driving. You would definitely need to stock up on supplies, I would think, or at least refuel or something like that before going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess, I might have to do some work, clean up a little bit over at the shop to barter for the fuel to get us out there. But I think, we can sort this out.
Sounds good. Gives me some time to synthesize these samples.
Perfect.
What samples?
She got some blood from those little dudes.
Some bloods.
What were they called? The meerkat?
They
dudes?
were. I just had this pulled up. Ceralaps, I think.
Ceralaps.
That sounds right.
I think just she takes out of one of her belt pouches just a little vial of gross blood and just kind of wiggles it in the light for her. Like, yeah, got something nice.
You guys can enjoy your delicious meal that I think will be covered under your normal wealth in this circumstance. I'm not going to make you roll for a fancy meal.
Mm-hmm.
This time.
One freebie.
But yeah, if you are wanting to make a couple extra bucks, something that we had talked about before was what you had called your day job.
Yeah. So I'm just got one question. Does the scrap shack handle fueling, or is there like a fuel station?
I think there probably is a fuel station. Maybe it's owned by the scrap shack. So maybe it's sort of rolled into everything there.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone owns the fueling entity. So it would either be the scrap shack or the Hive or AleraCorp. But I don't think that AleraCorp really controls that out here. I don't think they have that much of a presence. So my idea would probably be Vigo. Vigo probably handles the fuel, or he handles the junk and the vehicles and stuff. So it makes sense if he handles that too.
Cool.
So maybe it's like a separate, a fueling structure that's separate from the scrap shack, but he's still the purveyor.
I'm imagining just like one of those big sheets overhangs.
Yeah, exactly. That was my mind as well.
Yeah.
Or we could go old school and have it, be like the oval coming up out of the ground.
What?
Like the dispensers themselves are just like the...
Was that a thing?
Yeah, the
50s.
Yeah, the old stuff, they didn't have a rain cover on them. They just put them out there.
Yeah.
Huh. That's wild.
Yeah, it's basically the same. It just, looked older.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if that's something you'd like to do, you can certainly get to work. You had mentioned, why don't you tell me a little bit about how Set makes his bucks?
He's a pump jockey. Does he work for tips?
Yeah, I've worked for tips, pump jockey, detailing. So because he has the innate ability to pull and manipulate fine particulates and sand, he uses that to deep clean out vehicles and complex machinery, anything like that, where it would gum up or clog up anything that was operating. So it's kind of made him useful to Vigo right off the bat when he came in, with his ability to do something that would normally just be, meticulous and tedious to clean something up. Set can take care of in a matter of minutes.
I'm imagining the first time he comes through and Vigo's like, so show me what you can do. Do you have any skills? And he just like rips all of the sand out of one whole car, and Vigo's like, that's all right. And he turns around and we see a happy tear roll down his cheek like, oh, yes.
His dirty, dirty cheek. A single line of cleanliness.
I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh. Like he had an air compressor that he I put out of work that just had an air hose that he just Then I'll finish up my meal and clap my hands together, rub my tummy, thank B profusely, and then head on over to Vigo's little shack.
Do you try to pull people over to the main structure for detailing, or do you try to head them off when they're like getting their gas, or?
Well, I'm going to check in with Vigo and see if he has anything in the shop that he needs me to handle first and foremost, like something he's working on or anything like that. Because you said he said something about cleaning. But then I think I also will kind of hang out around the gas pumps to see if anyone pulls up and has anything, just 10 credit sign, like detail work, or maybe for 20 credits, like air filter cleaning type of stuff for the vehicle itself.
Gotcha. Yeah, you make your way back over to Vigo's, and the thing is, there's always something that needs to be cleaned. I figure he probably has a couple of generators that, keep a lot of the power on and running that would need the more regular maintenance. He's probably got a couple of vehicles that he's actively working on that he wants you to degunk or just pull all the stuff out of. So for that, why don't we make it... This would probably just be an essence roll for you because that's your arcane background and that's your skill that you're activating to pull it. So why don't you give me 3 different rolls, and I'll say the first one is at no penalty, the second one will be at -2, and the third one will be at -4, and then your cumulative successes from all of that will tell us how well all of this went, and maybe what effect it'll have on your funds.
Yeah. Essence is a D8. Okay, cool. Okay, the first one is a 5.
Nice. Okay.
Second one is a 5 -2, so that's a 3.
Okay.
And then the third one is a 4 -4, which is a 0.
Okay. The failure to me isn't that you fail to do it, it's more just how much do you get through in the time that you have, or how thorough is the job. It could still mean that you pull a lot out, but there's still more that will need to be pulled out at a later time, or maybe the job isn't fully completed. But with 1 success on there, I think that probably covers what he's doled out to you in credits, so it probably doesn't have a significant effect on your overall fund situation.
Yeah.
But what are some of the objects that can you give me just 1 or 2 descriptions of you pulling stuff out of other stuff?
I think the first thing I do is go to the maybe the solar panels on the roof, and I just blow those all clean, and that's why it was so easy. It's literally a flat surface, just clearing everything out flat.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, maybe just cleaning out the inside of the interior of the garage and blowing everything out of there. And then the last one was me trying to, with all the nooks and crannies and that type of stuff. And then the last one was maybe a motor that was being worked on that's got a lot of complex geometry in it, and just trying to pull everything out of there without pulling it so fast that it like wears on any of the tolerances. And so that's the one that's much more complex, and because of that, I only get so far on it.
Gotcha. Vigo comes over while you're doing it and gives you a skeptical glance as he sees, the debris that's being blown out of it, and says,
Oh, shouldn't this be a little bit cleaner?
Oh, yeah. I'm just getting tired now. I gotta rest up for a little bit if I'm gonna try and do this again. I don't want to break anything. I mean, again.
Now you break it, you bought it.
Yeah, I know. I remember that viscerally.
He rubs his fingers together in a muddy sign and says,
All right.
But yeah, I didn't get a critical failure, so I imagine I didn't do that. But yeah, that's literally all my power points.
Gotcha.
Is to cast that 3 times.
You said you used all of your power points for that?
Well, yeah, if I'm using sand shaping specifically, it's a 5 PowerPoint thing. If I'm just using like sand cloud or something like that, or sand
I mean, I
storm.
think some of that can ride. Like, you don't have to deplete your entire stores for that. And some of that's more thematic, so I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Maybe while Set's doing that, Sia doesn't really know what to do on her regular work day where she can't go anywhere. So I think she goes over to Vigo and is like, do you need a hand with anything? I do a lot of, I can repair things. I can help with that.
You can.
And he looks pointedly at your hands.
She deftly pulls into one of her belt pouches and pulls out a custom tool. Spins it around one of her slightly beefier fingers.
He narrows his eyes at you and says,
I don't like freelancers touching my stuff.
Well, you got a lot of stuff in here that kind of looks like a heap.
I was going to make a joke, but then I remembered I changed the name of the structure from the Jeep Heap to the Scrap Shack. I was like, Jeep is an actual brand. Maybe it shouldn't be named after a brand. He, go ahead and give me a persuasion. See if you can persuade him to let you work.
D4 -1. Can I cast boost trait on myself for persuasion?
Do you have boost trait?
I do.
I'll let you cast that beforehand. Sure, why not? You could have anticipated this and done it beforehand. You didn't, but you could have.
I could have. That's a 5, so I get a D6 -1 persuasion this time.
Oh my.
That's a 4.
Nice. He peers at you with those suspicious eyes a moment longer.
She flicks up her shades that she's still wearing. They're so old.
Yeah, glances over your traveling attire.
Just don't break anything. You break it, you bought it.
I heard. Because she probably was eavesdropping when he was talking to Set.
I don't trust corpos to handle my stuff.
Corpos?
Aren't you like all but wearing your name tag?
Like my Pantheon name tag?
You're clearly an outsider here, right?
Well, clearly an outsider, but he doesn't know her background.
I mean,
she's wearing armor.
Was your Pantheon background having anything to do with that? Because he does also work like on the Pantheon stuff. So.
I don't think so.
Okay, then never mind. Then he doesn't.
He
say
might
that.
know it's a new account though.
Gotcha.
Says, oh, well, you look pretty fresh to me.
Well, someone has to be. And she looks pointedly at his grubby self.
I think he just reaches a finger off and wipes it down your shirt.
Ugh.
And there's just a dark stain on your brand new getup.
Just swats at his hand, makes a meaty slap sound. Not like a hard slap, just a thwack.
Sure.
All right, well, you do any good work, I'll give you something for it.
Sounds fair. She wanders over to something.
Are you going to try to do good work?
Yeah, she can put a boost trait, like repair.
Okay, give it a shot.
Oh, yes. That's a 9 to boost my repair, so that bumps me up to a D10 repair.
Correct. Wow. Okay.
How many rolls should I make?
Now, does I'll just ask for one from you. Does your repair get a penalty for your all thumbs for being Yara? Is that?
See, I don't know. We talked about that because I wanted her to be able to repair stuff if she broke it.
Right.
Because it's mostly fine tools, like stuff that gives her trouble, but I don't know.
Okay,
That's
and
up to you.
well, you did specify that you wanted to have a tool custom made for Yar to be able to do that, so I'll say no penalty in this case. Actually, no penalty from you being a Yara, but let's, for your one, I'll let you determine the difficulty. How much are you trying to impress him? Or are you trying to make a buck? What do you want to do here?
Why not both?
Okay, so you tell me what penalty you want to roll at, and then if you succeed, you'll get an appropriate.
Can I roll a -4?
Sure.
I'm gonna Benny that.
Okay. It's a 4 and a 2.
I'm gonna Benny it again.
Oh my god.
I have all these Bennies. I gotta spend them.
It's true. Many Benny.
That's a crit fail.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's twice this session already.
Well, you're pulling you're making Set look much better by comparison, which is really any wingman's job.
Okay, can I flavor this? Like, it looks like she's doing a really good job for, like, she's under a car on a creeper, or she's on her skateboard that she has. And maybe while she's, like, trying to pry something open under a car, the wheels on her skateboard crumble to dust under her, and it fucks her up enough that she, like, gets a face full of oil because she's just ripped something very vital out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just under it, sputtering.
When you move yourself out from there on your non-existent wheels, there's just a scraping of wood as you emerge from beneath this vehicle. Vigo is standing there and says,
So will that be cash or credit?
Do you take B-Bucks?
all right, you can have a money back for that. Vigo will. So I think you either owe Vigo some money or some work.
Probably owe some money or some work, yeah.
Or some
but
work.
why not both?
You guys haggle out the details of how you're going to repay him.
I think she has just a very already grubby towel that she's just smearing around her face, getting grubbier.
Oh, now you look like you belong here.
Oh, good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so Set, you finish your work for Vigo, and if you'd like to go ply your trade elsewhere, you're certainly welcome to.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe go around and check in with any of the other the people, like if they have solar panels or anything. Maybe knock on the door and see if I can hustle up some work. I would imagine that might be a persuasion roll of some sort.
I think as far as like work to be done around here, you probably already have a pre-existing arrangement with Vigo and B, and they're probably the only two who actually own anything here who might hire you to do that, aside from people who are just coming in with their vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's appropriate. Maybe we even roll that into what you've done for Vigo.
Basically, I check in with everyone and do my rounds in the community. Then I guess it would just be like a waiting thing where I just got a sign, kind of like holding up.
Buskin.
Yeah, buskin.
I think that's exactly what it is, and I'm gonna ask for one persuasion roll and one performance roll here.
Okay.
Because I think catching somebody with a sign it requires a little bit of performance.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll for the performance at a D4 -2.
And again, failure doesn't mean that you failed to do it. It's more just how compelling what you're doing is.
And I rolled a 1 and a 0. So
okay.
I'm kind of half lazy in the heat, just maybe almost drift off to sleep while I'm holding the sign up, like leaned up against something, and not the most enthusiastic while I'm doing it. I'm just like, yeah, man, yeah, I'll clean your thing, dude.
Nice. Okay, do you have the persuasion?
And I'll go ahead and roll persuasion now. Does my -1 for my irregular mouth? Yeah, that one applies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and I got a 2 and a 1. So
Gotcha.
after the penalties. So yep, I'm not the most chatty right now too. Maybe I'm just a little jolted up and like talking a mile a minute like I kind of have been this afternoon.
There are a couple of people that pull up to the pumps to refuel their vehicles while you're out here. The first one is a large bullfrog-esque Axion Karnak. Pulls up in maybe, it's like a VW van looking deal, but he himself appears to be dressed in finer attire, so he gets out to fill up the van and sees you plying your trade, but does not wish to partake, just given your current enthusiasm state.
Maybe he tries to spin the sign like once.
Maybe I'm like drinking a soda. Oh no, I like walking up to him and like cracking a can of Jolt, and like it spatters in his face when I do it unintentionally. And it's just maybe an original Jolt, so maybe it's like a hyper orange or something like that to match the energy bolt gets off.
Very nice.
Then just splashes on him. I'm like, hey man, yeah. And then I start like drinking it in front of him in the middle of my conversation. And then somewhat insult his car, like, oh yeah, that like looks like your thing's been around the block around here, packed down with all that sand in the grill and everything, and looks like a real heap. You know, you want me to give that a once over, get it nice and fresh for you?
He looks dubious until you come over and crack the soda, and then he looks incredulous, and he just says,
Heap! That is no heap! That's a fine vehicle, and I won't have you touching it.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
I said good day. Okay, man. Well, I hope I don't see you out there stranded with a packed-in air filter. Have fun with that.
Is that a threat?
All right, so that guy disappears.
I have imagined as a sidebar, now I'm thinking Jolt is probably, like OG Jolt is definitely like hyper yellow, like the lemoniest lemon, like acid looking. But I think on Bolt's request, they put in some glitter. So like some edible glitter.
Oh God.
So like when you do the, it like makes a glittery spray.
Oh my God.
That seems on brand, right?
Oh, like maybe gold glitter, you know, so it kind of fits the yellow theme.
That's good stuff.
There's some liqueur that has that in it,
What?
where it's Goldschlager.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like a cinnamon.
Yeah, it's got shaved gold pieces in it.
It's got shavings.
So you drink gold.
They
Kind of rich people nonsense is that?
well, my understanding is the purpose is the gold flakes create like minor lacerations like in you when you
What
drink
the
it,
fuck?
and then the alcohol is more easily absorbed into your system.
Yeah,
of that.
because I want to lacerate my throat to get drunk
I
better.
guess I don't know how true that is, but the second person that comes through is a grimy-looking Yara lady who comes in on like a very beaten-up dune buggy. It's got mud and dirt caked all over it, red splotches in the wheel wells. She drives in very fast and peels into a stop right in front of the dispenser, sprays some dirt up into the air, creates a cloud, then gets out and starts pumping her gas.
I'm gonna whistle. Man, that's a nice rig you got there. Oh man, hey, what's with the red in your wheel well? Oh, you want me to get that off of there for you?
What are you offering to clean it?
Yeah. Just a few credits, you know, maybe 10, and I can get that all out of there.
She runs a tongue over her teeth and looks down there in between you and it and shrugs and then reaches into a pocket and produces a couple of credits, you know, based on what your sign says, and tosses them to you and says, I want to see my face in them.
Oh, who'd want to see your face in? Oh, yeah, no problem. And I just about to start, and since I failed the roll, how do you want to go from there?
I think so. In this case, I think it just means that they were not impressed by your performance or your sales pitch. She still pays you for it, but I think the failure means that she does catch your jab at her and does not look pleased by it. All right, smart guy. I'll remember your face next time. Better not run into you out there.
Ooh.
Maybe this is when she's about to drive away. She revs her engine a little bit, snaps her glasses down over her eyes.
Major hindrance, enemy.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that would be really fun if she shows up later and we drag race or something silly
let me
like
just
that.
write this down. Her name is Claudia, by the way. Didn't come up because I didn't tell you her name, but it's Claudia. Maybe you can tell because she has
A vanity plate?
Yeah, or a vanity plate, or her name is just like written somewhere. Okay, how about this? I got it. The hood of her car on the front has like one of those spray painted murals, but it's of herself, and she's just like laying in a luxurious pose, and it just says Claudia in like a flowing script.
Where did she get that done?
She's not gonna tell you.
I gotta know.
Maybe she did it herself. You don't know.
It's beautiful.
So it's completely covered by the mud and the dirt and stuff, and when you pull it off, that's what you see underneath.
Oh. So that's why she put up with the jab. She wanted to see her mural again.
She wanted to see herself in it.
Wonderful.
She does.
Can I roll common knowledge to see if maybe I'm aware of this person having a reputation and like realized I just messed up
Sure, go
harder
ahead.
than I thought?
Standard common knowledge.
What if a vanity plate is like, it's like a crab pincer and then D-A-D-I-A, like
Yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I failed.
Then yeah, I think the name does not mean anything to you. She seems smarmy, but you don't recognize her. You've never heard the name. Paint job's pretty nice. There's always going to be a level of wear and tear out here where the paint could look fresh after you've pulled it off, but there's still worn away bits, pieces missing just from...
Maybe it has like a shiny lacquer.
Foxing on
a
the
lacquer
edges.
over it.
Okay. Nice. She stands by you as you're working, just nodding in satisfaction until she gets back in her ride and gives you a smirk.
When she does that, I'm just gonna wink at her and I like point my thumb over at my rig. It's like to race you one day.
I bet you would. Think that could keep up with me? You're crazy.
Hey man, sometimes it's not about speed, it's about maneuvering.
She takes a moment and nods at this and says, well, maybe sometime when I'm bored.
Lots of boring time around this place.
Not for me.
Bye, nerd.
I mean, if you want to try to convince her to drag race here, I'm cool with it. I didn't plan that, but I'm totally cool with it.
I wanna leave that hanging, like I wanna goad her just enough that like if she sees me, she's definitely gonna rev at me if we cross paths again.
Absolutely. All right, yeah, so she hops in there after refueling. She fires up the engine, slams on the accelerator, and the wheels spin, and the car drifts back and forth a little bit, just spraying sand and debris up into the air before she peels out and heads back into the desert. Looking, let's see how cool she looks. She wouldn't have been a wild card, but she is now. She got a 2 and a 2, so maybe she tries to peel out, and it stalls for just a second, and then she recovers and purposefully does not look back to see if you've seen.
You just hear the stall noise and the clutch furiously going, just shit.
She probably should have been a little more. I would have cleaned out the engine compartment too.
I like that he just wouldn't be like, oh, shame you didn't ask about that.
It's on the sign.
It's on the sign, man. Well, she disappears. Time passes, and another vehicle appears over a dune, and this one it's bigger than your Jeep, a truck, like a large SUV, very beaten and worn, just, covered in grime, much like Claudia's ride was. It's got a roaring motor that you can hear from, hundreds of yards away. And you can see it coming, and I think you probably recognize this vehicle. The rider, who pulls up to a stop right in front of the gas tanks where you're currently busking, he gets out of the vehicle. He's a tall and lithe Vel man with sandy brown hair that's trimmed pretty short and a beard and mustache that match. Gray eyes that have the, cat-slitted pupils like all Vel do. And he generally has an air of no nonsense, but he's not necessarily like a hard ass or serious. And this man's name is Zeph.
Mm-hmm.
Zeph is a member of your tribe.
Oh.
And more than that, Zeph's primary function is he's sort of a scout or a go-between. He is a core member of the tribe who regularly, goes back and stays with the tribe and helps with stuff, but he reaches further than a lot of people do. Like, he goes out so that others don't have to go out. And I think that's probably why you guys have some crossover, because you do much the same thing, but you're not as much of a homebody as he is, and he probably has a greater buy-in for the overall stake of the tribe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He pulls up, comes to a stop, gets out, walks around the vehicle. He probably saw you when he was driving in. Oh, Si, figured I might run into you in this dump.
Yeah.
So, What you been up to? And as you guys are having this conversation, he's going over and he's getting the nozzle to refill his vehicle. He doesn't seem to be overly aggressive or anything, but he definitely has sharp eyes on you.
Well, I just checking out some stuff, doing some work around here, taking some tourists on a tour once in a while to find some things they'd be looking for. Just trying to stay afloat so I can bring back the things we might be needing at home if when I get back out that way, yeah.
What is his disposition here?
Nervous.
Feel as though he's is he like, oh boy, I goofed up, or I'm in a bad situation, or
I feel that something might be coming,
Gotcha.
He might bring something up. Yeah, he could pull a card, he could make a, hey, we're tapping you, like any interactions before, but he could have an opinion about my absenteeism. So
absolutely.
I'm trying to be mindful and sound like I'm trying to do my best,
Sure, gotcha. You guys definitely have some level of history. He's a bit older than you for certain. I think he's probably mid to late 30s in terms of his, maturity and overall appearance. I don't think he's ever really been antagonistic with you, but he is a bit of an overseer where it's one of his functions is to collect tributes or organize resources and keep tabs on what people are doing and where and why. So if Silica is more of a free spirit and doesn't like to be tied down as much, then they could have butted heads over that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But on this occasion, you tell him that you're just doing some jobs here and trying to make some ends meet so you can make your way back out. How long has it been since Set has been back to the main tribe?
Let's say months.
Months?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a quantified, you are expected to check in every so often. It's more just maybe Set is more of an exception. Everybody else just sort of comes back at an appropriate level, but he's one of the few people who stays out more than he maybe should.
What's normal is weeks, and then he's in a months.
Gotcha. Yeah, so he says, so you taking tourists around and you got time to spit shine my ride, huh? He gestures at your sign.
I mean, I do. I'm right here, man. You know my talent.
He says, well, show me what you got.
Okay. He cracks his knuckles and starts getting to it. I'd already failed this roll, correct? If I remember right.
The role that you had failed was the persuasion and performance to try to, attract more business. And to me, that was representative of the Karnak who didn't really want anything to do with you,
mm-hmm.
and then Claudia's disposition during that interaction.
Okay.
If you would like to make an essence roll here to see how good of a job you do, I'm not going to ask you to spend any PowerPoints or track that, but
yeah.
I'm going to say that this one is going to be at a -2 just because of how dirty his vehicle is overall.
Could I spend 5 PowerPoints to bump something down a little bit because of how powerful, if I'm going to put more into it than normal?
Yeah, I think, yeah, sure.
And use my...
That's, yeah, if you want to spend PowerPoints to activate it, then I'll wipe the modifier.
Then I got a 5.
Nice, success. I imagine his vehicle it's bigger and it's bulkier. I said it's a large SUV. I think his might even be a little extra long so that there is more storage capacity in the back. He can carry more stuff around with him.
Kind of like the cargo Hummers that they have, where they have a truck back on it where it's really big.
Yeah, it's probably something closer to that. I think that's a pretty good visual. Maybe he's got somebody who's, riding shotgun with him, just if it's not a good idea for him to be moving around by himself. But how do you impress him with cleaning off his vehicle? Lickety split.
I take a moment and he sees me. My playful attitude kind of drops a bit. Take a deep breath and pick up the sand, run it between my hands. As it's falling through, I close my eyes and I put my hands on the hood of his truck and I close my eyes. And you can see me tense up as all the dust and sand starts to vibrate on the car and then just levitate slowly and then whip back as quick as possible off to one side away from the people and then fall and like a wave to the side outside of where the gas pump is on the opposite side of that.
Very cool. Yeah, he's standing there. He's got his arms folded, not aggressive, but more just, I'm curious to see how this is going to shake out. But you pull a shocking amount of debris out, from under the hood and the engine, everything. You just, funnel it right out into a big pile, and he watches it swirl through the air. And once it's out, he raises his hand to signal the person who's still in the vehicle, who fires the engine back up. It certainly sounds like it's running better than it was before. So he pumps his eyebrows in surprise, I think. He probably knows what you're capable of, but hasn't spent enough time around you to see the dividends and the returns on that. Takes a pointed look at your sign and pulls a couple of credits out of his pocket and hands them over to you. I was going to consider that to be more community service, but job's a job, and if you're out here working for money anyway, you might as well get paid, huh?
I'm gonna look at it and then politely roll his fingers back onto the money. I was like, hey, no, your tribe.
Yeah, well, it's good of you to remember that. Don't forget about everybody else. You're a little behind on contributions. That's not too much of a hard ass on you, but people are starting to notice, wondering where you've been all this time, and it's not like you're that far away. Starting to wonder why you're not poking your head in more.
Yeah, it's just, they, just some things they're a little, stuck in the mud about, I guess.
Are you in some kind of trouble?
No, I'm, back at home, there's just they don't agree with, how they do things. Just the way we, around here, they're using a lot of stuff. And I know it back at home, it's harder to keep it running and working, but I think it'd help us out a lot,
Yeah, it's always a balancing act. Is the old guard who always knew how to do it one way, and any deviation from that gets looked on. I get all that, but if you care, you gotta show them you care. No,
yeah.
It's okay to be away, but
I'm just trying to learn, man. I'm just trying to learn this stuff. Maybe figure out a way we can help back at home.
He nods to that. You got any plans? Anything you're working on right now?
I got an idea, somewhere to check out. Got to lead on something, but I'm just trying to fill up my gas tank to head that way.
Gas tank. Speaking of gas, that's why I'm here. I don't usually make my way out this far, but fuel reserves are a little bit low back home right now. Sometimes we gotta dip into the outside to refill those coffers, we got enough to get by, but I'm able to go a little bit further, so I'm trying to pick up some of the slack by outsourcing it, but it's expensive. We don't really traffic in a lot of these credits.
Yeah.
Gotta save them for when it matters.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Yes. You can get more fuel.
Yeah, we can work on that.
But that's something you could do. You pull in a couple of trailblazers. They're hard to catch, but your ride's a little faster than mine, I think. So these things they're worth their weight in gold. We traffic much in gold out here, but
yeah,
you get a couple of those organs.
Probably worth more than gold around these parts.
Yeah, you bring a couple of them down. One of those, I don't know what it's called, a bladder, something like that. Whatever organ it has, makes that high concentration, what do you call it? What is that stuff?
The grease?
Sure, it's like a grease. Whatever we can distill it. We can, you mix it with water, it makes and he waves at the gas pump, the fuel.
Yeah, I could take a shot at it, man.
Yeah, well, if you can, be a big help. It'd certainly go a long way to paying off some perceived debts.
Do you, where they've been running around lately? Maybe I can head that way.
I think he can give you a heading, like a general direction. Well, the thing about trailblazers is they move pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think their standard speed, like their normal top speed, is about 50 miles per hour, which is on par with like how fast a horse could run at top speed.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I googled this. Don't worry, I did my research. Why don't you go ahead and roll me? I'd say either a common knowledge or maybe a survival at -2.
Yeah.
To see how much you know about trailblazers and their capabilities.
Okay.
And then you'll get some amount of information regardless of how you do. But
I'm gonna
if you
spend a penny
get a
on
success
that.
or raises.
That was
Sure.
all but the worst roll. Okay, I got 2 4s. So 4.
Oh, and were you rolling common knowledge or survival?
That was survival.
Survival. Okay. So with a success, you know that trailblazers are fast. You know, they're birds. In our world, they'd be similar to like ostriches. It's probably like an ostrich
Like an ostrich road runner.
crossed with
Yeah.
a roadrunner. Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit bigger. It's ostrich size, but it's more roadrunner-esque. They run extremely fast. They have the ability to put on bursts of super speed where they run at like even double that speed. They have a gland that secretes this flammable, viscous liquid or oil-like substance, which is what they're most sought after for, because you can use it as a distillate to make fuel, like an organic fuel. And of course, they have delicious meat, which you sampled earlier.
Spicy.
And is not as common. One of the reasons people can even get the meat is like finding dead trailblazers in the wild, like freshly dead ones, which is one of the reasons that it's more rare, is they're so fast, they're hard to catch and kill, unless you set up traps or something like
Also,
that.
sometimes a collision with one probably would happen once in a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, that might even be, yeah. You know, they can leave trails of fire when they're running. That's probably the extent of what you know. Fire theme, run real fast. Valuable.
Money.
Yeah, money. They're most commonly procured when they're just found dead in the wild, so both their meat and the organ that can be harvested are not as good in that state.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get a fresh kill, then they're much more valuable. You manage to rope something like that in. If you want to take a crack at it, you can come find us, drop it off, or take it back home, or we can have a drop here. Anything you can do is a big help. It'll go a long way. It'll get people off your back, too.
If I get one, I'll bring it home for you guys.
Yeah, he nods at that. Well, how's everything else?
Kind of fun, actually.
Fun. That's good. Well, I hope you enjoy your fun.
Yeah.
His demeanor is, he's not like hammering this into you, but you can tell he's making something of a point here. Well, when you're done with your fun, if you can help us out with those trailblazers, that'd be a big win. Otherwise, if you get something else, maybe that'll work too.
Just hold up.
Just don't get yourself hurt.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I can help you out right now for a second. Is there a way I could go back to Vigo and try and negotiate using some of my credits to give him 1 dye type worth of fuel to bring back?
Sure. Yeah, you can go have that conversation with Vigo. You're just trying to use some of your own credits to buy some amount of bulk fuel for them to take back a while?
Just to help out in the intermedium, because he shows up and now I kind of feel bad about being on my adventures.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like when they walk into the garage, it's just as Sia had cut the line that drenched her face in oil.
That's
She's just
great.
mopping up as Vigo's still laughing at her as he's doing something else.
Your friend's breaking stuff.
Yeah.
She looks over to him with apologetic, but maybe not as full of remorse as they could be.
Yeah. I have, he's got kind of a small moment of relief that, oh man, I'm so glad it wasn't me again.
If you're trying to buy fuel, this would, I think, count as something that's outside of your normal price range in terms of, you're trying to buy bulk.
Yeah.
So it's not
Like a
just
whole,
even a refill on your own
a big
vehicle.
enough purchase to make an impact on my material wealth.
This would be a roll of your wealth die. You can get support from allies with this, but if things go badly, it also affects your allies' wealth. Let's see here. The GM should add bonuses for savings or deals, subtract penalties for expensive purchases, or rule out altogether purchases beyond the character's means. I don't think there's significant modifier here. I think that, fuel is always a commodity that's in demand.
Yeah.
I don't think Vigo would give you any special discounts on it because of that. So I think it'll probably be a flat roll. Critical failure means the buyer can't scrape up the needed funds at the moment, but may try again the next week or after they obtain one or more rewards. With a regular failure, the buyer can either forego the expense or buy it, but go broke regardless of wealth die. Success means you purchase the item, but your wealth is reduced to die type until I feel your finances are restored, and a raise means you can buy it without reducing your wealth.
Okay, and it's
So why don't you go ahead and make the roll, and then
we'll
figure out what happens from there.
Yeah, so I get my wild die.
It's treated like a trait, and D6 is the default if you don't have any edges that
they
affect
both
it.
blow up. Second one blows up. So that's a 15.
Success with a raise. Okay, that means that it does not impact your finances in any significant way. So maybe it's just you guys did end up doing a good enough job for him, and from, busking outside, that you've pulled together enough funds and you have enough saved up from previous jobs that you can, just spend it as a bulk purchase on this.
Easy as you pleasey.
Easy as you pleasey. So he shrugs and he says,
Yeah, sure, if you want to give away some of your earnings. Far be it from me to tell you how to spend your money.
I'm a little behind with those guys anyways, trying to stay square.
Debtors, huh?
It's family.
Even worse. The worst kind of debts. You can never get rid of them.
I think his voice is starting to shift now, but I'm just going to lean into it.
Maybe it oscillates. Maybe it's because he always has Cory dust on him. It's fucked up his brain.
God.
Oh, man. Oh, he's all scuffle dust out for a moment there. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I'm imagining like Batty from fucking Ferngully. Just the eyes winking and blinking back and forth.
So yeah, he'll work with you to, get the fuel reserves set up. They'll top off their vehicle and, give them, if they have a tank, to take some back. Otherwise, that can be part of what you purchase and hand off to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you get everything settled up outside with Zeph, this has certainly, made a dent in his perception of you, with that you're just willing to buy that bulk fuel out of hand to take back. And he says, well, yeah, there's no telling how long it's going to last, but this is going to make a difference.
Yeah, man.
Good work, Sai.
Sometimes I get over my head, I forget to come home. The world's a big place, and I'm learning that.
It's always bigger than you expect, but, I know not everybody understands, but, family's family, and you run into trouble or you need somewhere to stay, come on back. Don't forget everybody, because they ain't going to forget you either.
Yeah.
But if you still get those trailblazers on top of this, he just leaves that hanging and starts climbing up into the cab. And if you don't have anything else to say to him, he will fire it up and start driving away.
As he fires it up, I'm going to grab out another and crack it to him and cheers him, and then start drinking as I walk back to the garage.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Silica Valley with us. First off, big thank you to Chase Absher, because without Chase, y'all, Silica Valley would not exist, and I'm so grateful for it every damn day. Thank you also to Valentine, Ezra, Nakota, Jackie, Jade, and Paxton. Thank you also to Caleb Sunstead, Zach, Ben Hatton, Gerald, Andrea, Davriel, Ellis, Zane, Nason, Romalak, Lexington 296, and Calder. Our music is by Crockett, Waveshaper, and Marcus D. Crockett you can find at Crockett80s on Twitter and crockett.bandcamp.com. Waveshapers at waveshaper_SWE on Twitter and at waveshaper1.bandcamp.com, and Marcus D, of course, heavily featured in this episode. You can find at marcusd.net and at marcusd on Twitter. Thanks to the creators of Savage Worlds, the Pinnacle Entertainment Group. You can find them and their products online at peginc.com.